everyone. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Emily. I'm so
Hello.
excited. I guess, first of all, I'm Sherry Richert Belul, and I'm author of The Love List of a Lifetime, which is my brand new end of life planner. And I know many of you have been following along as I've been introducing you to amazing people who are in this industry, helping in so many different ways for people to really plan end of life. And I love, Emily, I'm going to introduce you, but first I want to say I love that you have a pinned video on your Instagram where it says Emily helps people plan death. Right?
Yes. Plan for their death.
You say plan for their death. So I stumbled across Emily on Instagram actually, and just, you know this, Emily, but I fell in love with your authenticity, and I felt your heart in your videos. And we'll be talking about this a little bit more, but I just want to say, I'm so sorry because I know your mom passed away 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago. And of course, I was so touched by your story, and, such a young woman to lose her mother, and that you then transformed that loss and the experiences you went through with her, which again, we'll talk about, into Plan Big Sleep, which I also love the name of your company, Plan
Thank you.
Big Sleep. So Emily, I know that you help people with all aspects of end of life planning. And I think if it's okay with you, unless you want to say more as way of introduction, maybe we'll just launch in to a little bit of that story of how you got started.
Yeah. No, I think you covered a lot, so that's good. Yeah, my mom, she had breast cancer that spread, and so we kind of knew she was probably going to die, and she had about 2 years of just kind of slowly deteriorating. And during those 2 years, we did a lot of talking with her and planning with her about what it is that she wanted. And she was very alternative and very death positive, I would say.
Wow.
Um, so she was really open to talking about what would happen with her, what she wanted before, during, and after her death. So we did things like we hired a death doula who came to the house and facilitated conversations. We went and visited burial sites together to pick out where she would be buried.
Wow.
We ordered a casket and had it delivered to the house because she wanted a wicker basket and not like a traditional urn or casket that you would usually see. So yeah, she was a very alternative person in all aspects of her life and in death as well. So that kind of opened my eyes to this. It was my first real experience with death, but then I had seen it growing up in movies and, like seeing friends who had lost grandparents and gone to funerals and kind of
Mm.
heard about that. And then I saw it with my mom, and it was this very different way of things happening where it was like very natural, peaceful. It didn't feel stiff and organized and like we were pushing death away. It was very much welcoming death and embracing it. So yeah, that kind of like, it was a really interesting experience. And a few years after she passed, I kind of started realizing how anytime I brought her up or brought up the fact that she was dead, people always shied away and didn't want to continue the conversation. And that kind of interested me as to like why that was, because for me, I welcome the opportunity to talk about her because it kind of, in my mind, keeps her memory alive and allows her to still be here. Yeah, so I just was kind of interested by that. And then I was looking to switch kind of career paths anyways. And so that's kind of how I stumbled upon this idea of maybe I could help people plan their death the way that we helped my mom plan hers. That way, people who are dying could kind of know that they were going to have what they wanted, but also the people who are going to be left behind who have to organize everything kind of already know what they need to do and might have stuff already in place instead of having to figure everything out last minute.
Wow, Emily, there's so many so many aspects of what you just said. I mean, first of all, Elizabeth is your mom's name, right? Elizabeth.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
first of all, I just have so much love for Elizabeth in the fact that she could walk through that with her family, with such openness. And it sounds like also, tell me if I'm projecting, but like not fearful, really, but really, like really, it sounds as if she accepted what was happening and that you could all be in it together in a way that to me sounds like the best possible scenario in such a hard situation.
Mhm.
Is that
Yeah.
so?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that she accepted it, like, right off the bat.
Yeah,
I think it definitely took a while for her to get to a place where she was kind of like, "Okay, this is happening, and now I'm ready to embrace it and handle it with grace instead of fighting it, or pushing it away." And yeah, I think, I mean, my brother and I were not living at the house at the time, so we would come home on weekends, so we would see it was easier for us to kind of see her declining because we weren't with her every day. My
right,
dad was her primary caretaker, so he was with her all the time. So for him, I think it was probably the biggest shock because I don't think he was able to get enough distance to kind of see her decreasing health. But
right.
yeah, I would say for her, she definitely, from my perspective, got to a point where she accepted it and was like embracing that this was happening and yeah, taking control of it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And also, one of the things, and I know when I first saw your Instagram, this is what touched me too, is she did make some choices that aren't like mainstream, right? Like I think and I remember thinking like, wow, first of all, so beautiful that it feels like she really knew what mattered to her and
Hmm.
that she talked to you about those things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, my brother and I were born with midwives, and my brother was born at home. So from my whole life, she's always been very into the alternative side of things. So we had a death doula who was brought in very early on, and that was really great. But yeah, she was really, really adamant on wanting to die at home, did not want to be in a hospital if it was possible at all, and she wanted her body to kind of stay at home for a couple of days after she passed. So that was something that was like really, really helpful for us to have the death doula because my dad and I like didn't know how to do that, how to preserve a body for a couple of days. And she didn't want like when you typically go to the funeral home and they put the fluid in your body to kind of
Right.
preserve it. Like she didn't want any of those chemicals in her body. Um, so yeah, we had to get like dry ice packs and rotate them out from underneath her body. I think it was like every 6 hours. Um, but she had a lot planned as far as like when she passed at home, the death doula was there. My dad was there with her. I was there 30 minutes after. Um, and then we had like a whole, I don't know if I would call it a ceremony, but like rituals that we had planned out for her. So some of my
Oh,
aunts came over, some of her close female friends came over, and we did a body cleansing on the first night where we had washcloths and warm water and soap that she had
oh,
picked out. And we just like washed her
oh,
body and like
oh.
said prayers and said like thank you to her body for kind of carrying throughout life. Yeah, and she had special oils picked out that she really wanted. So we just had this like really beautiful experience, which was I can look at it now, hindsight's 2020, I guess, and see how beautiful that was. In the moment, I think it was a bit uh I don't know if intense is the right word, but it was like the first time I was seeing a dead body, and then it was my mom's body, and it
Yes.
was all very new to me. And they were like, you can touch her, you can clean, like, and it was just very odd to me. But as I saw everyone else doing it and then they just were embracing it, I kind of was like, okay, this is just because she's dead doesn't mean we need to like push her off to the funeral home and like never see her
Wow.
again until we do the open casket. So yeah, it was really nice. We cleaned her up and put her on in a dress that she had picked out. And she wanted some makeup on. She wanted her nails done and her toes done,
You
but
did?
she didn't have that done before she died. So I painted her toes and painted her nails and did her makeup. Um,
Oh, Emily. I
yeah,
just got chills. I just got chills.
yeah, it was really beautiful. And yeah, and then we had, I think for a day or two, we had people could come over and spend time with her in her room alone, one on one. People like sang, they played the flute. It was just
Oh,
really, really nice. Like if she were alive, and I'm assuming she was like somewhere kind of present, seeing what was happening. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think she would have been really, really happy with how that was. Yeah, and then I had mentioned that we got the casket online, and so we had that at the house. So my dad and my brother and my uncle kind of picked her body up and put her in the casket, and then we brought her to the burial site that we had planned, and we just had a really small, like, intimate burial, and that was pretty much it.
Emily, first of all, I want to say thank you for sharing. I know, I mean, I can only imagine, it must like bring it all back when you talk about it each time. And I can only guess that it's both like really beautiful to share because
Mhm.
you're helping other people to learn, but also it's so personal. And I'm so grateful to you for your openness around it. And I have to tell you, like I totally get what you were saying about, wow, that was an intense new experience. Um,
Mhm.
and like, it just it seems so respectful and loving and
Mhm.
beautiful because when
Mhm.
you said, instead of just whisking her off, and I mean no offense to anyone who that's their experience, but I think this is why I wanted to talk to you, which is that we don't know that there's other possibilities.
Mhm.
Recently, I was in the Endwell conference last week, and one of the speakers was said, let's see if I can get this quote right, but she was really interested in bringing back rituals from our ancestors. And one of the things she said is, my form of innovation is not forgetting how things were done. And
Mhm.
so she's bringing back, and I have the feeling like what you're speaking to is likely something that was common in
Right.
modern. Do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I think death, I mean, I know death was, like, much more embraced, and it still is in many cultures. I think in Western cultures, we've kind of just, like, for some reason, pushed it away, and it's now this, like, foreign thing that we don't wanna think about, we don't wanna deal with, and then when it happens, it's just like, "Get it away from me," and I think that that's the reason that I feel, like, called, if you will, to, like, talk about this is because death affects everyone. It's going to happen to all of us. And almost most people have experienced the loss of somebody, whether it be a friend, a parent, a sibling, like a partner. And we, I think, at least in American society, don't hold space for that. And we just push it away. And it's such a thing that could like bring us all together because it's like such a common and like happens all the time thing. So yeah, I very much love to push the topic when I can. And I also love sharing my mom's story because I think that the way that she handled things was really beautiful, like you said, and I wish other people could learn about that because I mean, I didn't know that and I grew up with her. And so I learned it from her. So I would like other people to know that there's alternative ways to how you die, how your parents die, like everything like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing that's coming up, I'm going to quote someone else from this conference last week that was so beautiful, is he was talking about choosing presence over comfort. And so when I'm thinking about what you're saying about this beautiful ritual, and I know the Zen Hospice here in San Francisco does something similar with the washing and the flowers, and that that may not be comfortable for us, right? It's of
Mhm.
course, why would it be? We're not used to it. It's new, but that presence that we get to experience, and like you said, I mean, everybody has their own beliefs, but it's like whether we feel it's the presence with the spirit of the person who's passed or presence with ourselves, the grieving self who might really need that moment, or
Mhm.
presence like you experienced with your mother's sisters and friends. I That really struck me that it's like part of what I think is going on with grief and death in this country is we don't want to be uncomfortable, right? We
Mhm.
don't want to be uncomfortable, but there's so much to be gained by facing that discomfort and choosing to be 100% present, which is what I'm projecting onto, to you and that group of people who were there for your mom in that way.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the uncomfortableness is what helps you grow and learn and that's always good. So, yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm all for it.
anyone who knows me or has been following along, I've actually just experienced several deaths, and also another just like a big loss in my life. So I've just been like in this season of grief. I know.
Mhm.
Oh, I forgot. I'm just going to have a little tangent here. I spoke with your aunt, and I'm going to tell that story in a minute. But we were talking about that. But I just reminded myself I wanted to bring that in. But one of the things that I've learned from, I feel like I've had some master teachers in my friends who are just like, I'm here.
Mm.
You need to tell that story again and again and again. I'm here. Do you need to say their
Mhm.
name again? I'm here. Are you awake in the middle of the night? I mean, I feel like I have met some master teachers who are just like present to, and it's not comfortable. I was talking to a good friend last night, and she's like, I never know what to say. And of course, we both voiced that it's like, it's not what you say, it's not the words, it's that presence.
Yeah,
And
I
I
was just gonna
you
say
were
that. I wasn't sure if you were gonna say that, but yeah, I get people all the time who ask like, what do I say in those situations? Or like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, nothing, like literally nothing. Just be there and just listen and like be present. And that's it. Like, and just, even just, I think, somebody says, "Oh, whoever in my life just died or has died," it's just like, "Oh, tell me about them." Like, that's it. Just
that's
and then listen.
it. Emily, I love that, right? And the thing that was so beautiful that I got to with my friend Kirsten, I want to say her name because I love her so much, is that also I said to her, I said, it's also important that I just hear your voice because I've been taking such comfort. And I said to her, and I think this is true, I said, I don't care what you're talking about. I hear the love, right? Because I know that she's just really, truly wanting to be present with me. And it doesn't matter what the words are that she's saying.
Mhm.
And that was really important for me too, that it's like sometimes we want to sit and just be quiet with people, of course, when we're in grief. But sometimes it's just the music of someone's like a familiar, loving voice, that can just comfort us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I agree.
I do want to give a nod because we do have this really beautiful situation that happened. And I feel like Susan Mertz Anderson is your aunt, right?
Yes, my
Your
mom's
mother,
sister.
your mother's sister. And so I had met you through Instagram, I just really loved your presence. I love the work you're doing, just like I do right now as we're talking. And then you said, oh, maybe you want to talk to my aunt, right?
Mhm.
And then what happened?
You guys have met before, which is crazy.
Totally crazy. You're in Paris. We didn't even mention this, right? Like
No.
it's not even like you're local. And your aunt, where she live?
She's in Nelson, BC, so in
In
Canada.
Canada, right? So it's like, I don't even know. I know that doesn't really have anything to do with our topic, except it just kind of to me it speaks to like somehow like the synchronicity or the magic that can happen when we are present. Like, when
Mhm.
we're present to, I was like, oh, I really like this Emily. I'm just going to reach out to her and see if she'll talk to me because she's a lot of great things to say. And then I don't know, that little magic happened from there. And now when you were telling the story about the washing of your mom, I'm presuming Susan was there, a part of.
She was not, because she was
Oh,
back home and she had come, I think,
oh,
a month or 2 before my mom passed, but my mom has, like, 5
oh,
sisters,
she
so
does.
there was a lot of sisters.
There are a lot of sisters there. Well, in any case, I know we only have a couple minutes left, Emily. I just wonder. I mean, I've loved so much what you've been sharing. Is there anything else that you feel like, wow, I really wanted to make sure that we brought this in today?
I mean, I think we touched on a lot of the why of what I'm doing this work for, and, like, what I feel passionate about is just this, like, holding space for people who have lost someone. I think if we could educate more people and help them feel more comfortable creating space for somebody to grieve or just to even, like, talk about the people they've lost, that would be a huge win for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, and just grief in general, and, like, I feel sorry for me sometimes in situations when there's no space held and it's just kind of brushed away. I feel sorry for friends that I see. I hear the same topic come up all the time when I meet somebody who has lost someone, and everybody says the same thing, like, oh yeah, I never get to talk about them. Everybody brushes it away. So I would love to try to figure out why that is and what can we do as a society to kind of break down that barrier a bit and just kind of welcome it a bit more. And I think it will naturally happen to people because as soon as you join the club of death, you get it. But for the people who haven't joined yet, and they're lucky for not being in it, yeah, it'd be nice to somehow like bring some more awareness there.
Emily, I love that, and that's what you're doing, right? And the other thing that I want to say, as a appreciation to you, and I think I said this when we first talked on Zoom, I think it's really beautiful that as a young woman that you're opening up these conversations, right? Like, because it's like you're reaching, I'm sure, a whole audience that could potentially like start to view death and grief in a whole new way thanks
Mhm.
to the education that you're doing. And so I really want to appreciate you for that, because I think you're right. I think the world is changing, and I think what you said about the club is really something I too have been looking at. I have learned, I feel like I've just had like a master course in how to be with people in grief thanks to
Mhm.
my friends.
Mhm.
And I want to, of course, pay that forward to anyone that I meet. But I also wish that I would have been more informed all these other decades of my life,
Yeah.
because I can, I've actually been apologizing to a lot of people. Like, I'm so sorry. I mean, I like showed up for people, sent a card or made a call, but I can understand now, like what it is to really be with someone long term through their
Mhm.
grief,
Mhm.
and so I'm super grateful that you're doing the work you're doing, and that you would share your mom Elizabeth with us. Like, what a
Yeah.
beautiful legacy. I feel like just to your point about telling the stories, like, by sharing her story, we get to know a little of her spirit, we get to celebrate her,
Mhm.
and we're also learning from her. And to me, I talk a lot about legacy of love, right? Like, that's one way that you're carrying on that legacy of love from
Yeah,
her.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, she would be very happy that I'm sharing this, so
Oh,
I feel good about that, and her birthday's Saturday, so it's a
oh, it
good timing
is.
here. Yep.
It is. Oh, I'm
Yep.
giving you an extra special hug.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Will you do anything on her birthday to commemorate?
Um, I actually just queued up some Instagram around this on how I kind of remember and celebrate my mom, and yeah, so I usually do something on her birthday and her death anniversary, and I like to typically buy a thing of flowers, and then I go to a cemetery, and I will just put the flowers around on different graves that I feel
Oh,
called to. Sometimes, like, they have the name Elizabeth, or I just really like something about
oh,
it. So yeah, sometimes I do that, and she really loved cinnamon buns, so sometimes I'll go get a cinnamon bun. So I'm
I
not
love
exactly sure.
cinnamon buns. I'm going to think of your mom every time I have a cinnamon bun from now on. That is also a legacy of love.
Yeah,
And you just that's a great reminder too, as we're leaving right now, but um to write down and remember people's birthdays and the day they died, and just
mm,
reach out, like reach out to your
yeah,
friends and say, like, I know this was your mom's birthday and I'm thinking of her and I'm having a cinnamon bun in her honor. Just those things make such
yes,
a difference.
they
Yeah.
really do, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Emily, you're so beautiful. I love your work. I hope I can
Thank
support
you.
you. I'm going to be posting your website below, but also tell us your Instagram, so that people can, if they wanted to look up right now,
It's just at Plan Big Sleep.
at Plan Big Sleep. Yeah. Yeah. And you've got some beautiful videos there, some beautiful things. And we can look forward to being with you as you commemorate your mom on her birthday too. Thank you
Yes, thank
so
you.
much. Mwah. Thank you to anyone who's listening live or later. What an important conversation. Thank you, Emily. That
Yeah.
was